as it stands right now, John Fury appears to have defeated Micky Theo. Not in an actual fight, obviously, but he appears to have defeated him in the battle over public perception. Because when this feud, this rivalry, however you want to describe it, first started, it was John Fury who seemingly wasn't willing to step in a ring and have a boxing match. But John Fury went away. He took a lot of stick from Micky Theo, who was constantly calling him out in these videos. He got himself in shape. And now he's decided to say, you know what, Micky, I'll fight you in this gym in Manchester. And if you don't turn up, that's on you. But everybody can see that I'm going to be here on this particular Sunday. And if you want the fight, come down. It's a proper gym. There are proper professionals who train in here and all that kind of stuff. And you'll get the best of fair play. Micky Theo didn't go for it. And therefore, the public perception is completely swung back in favor of John Fury. Because initially, the public perception was in favor of John Fury. They thought that Micky Theo was just some chancer who was looking to make a name just by associating himself with John Fury and maybe looking to make some money. But then when John Fury didn't go ahead with what he originally said he would do, which is actually face Micky Theo in the ring, when he started backtracking, Micky Theo started getting all the support. And people were saying, you know what? We doubted Micky Theo in the beginning, but now we believe that it's John Fury who doesn't want to fight. And as I say, after what has recently happened, the pendulum is now swung back in favor of John Fury. So he is winning this perception battle, this perception war. Micky Theo in his recent videos has been stumbling and mumbling and hasn't been sounding very convincing. And let me tell you what I think the issue is here. Not just for Micky Theo, but even for John Fury. I think that John Fury was too proud to admit that he wasn't physically fit enough to get in the ring and box. And get in the ring and box Micky Theo in this particular instance. So rather than just say, look, I don't want to box now because I'm not fit, he just came up with a bunch of different excuses to try and delay any possible fight between them. You see, that was his pride. And I think Micky Theo's doing the same thing in this John Fury situation. You know, after Micky Theo didn't turn up to the gym in Manchester. I mean, he never agreed, to be fair. John Fury never gave him a date and said, okay, do you agree to this date? And that's the minimum that you can expect somebody to do, right? He just sprang it on him and said, be at this place at this time or you don't want to fight. You know, that's a bit off. But even so, Micky Theo, in my opinion, didn't want to go to that gym in Manchester, not because he's afraid of getting in the ring against John Fury, but because he didn't know who was going to be there. He was maybe concerned about getting jumped or whatever the case may be. I think that's the reason that he didn't go there. That's not his zone. That's not his hometown. You understand? And I think he was concerned. But because he's a proud man, he doesn't want to make it look like he doesn't want to make it look like he's worried about that. Maybe he wants to make it look like he's somebody on the streets, right? And that nobody could jump him and nobody could do anything like that to him because he's a somebody. I suspect that that is why Micky Theo is mumbling and stumbling and not sounding very convincing in these videos, because I think the real reason for him not engaging John Fury in that gym sparring match, boxing bout, however you want to describe it, is because he was concerned about who was going to be there. He was concerned about his safety going up there, not knowing who he would encounter and who maybe his team would encounter. Yeah, I don't think he trusts John Fury as being straight up. I think that's what the issue was. But again, as with the world of professional boxing, when it comes to what the fans believe, it's just a matter of perception. Because until two men have actually stepped in the ring and fought each other, everything else is just opinion. But the way fans carry on, it's as if their opinions are facts. They're not. I can have whatever opinion I want about who I think would win a certain fight, but I'll be very honest with you and say it's an opinion. I can't tell you that that's 100% fact, especially if we're dealing with people of a similar ability. And the same should be looked at here between John Fury and Micky Theo. Now, John Fury, of course, much more proven as a pugilist than Micky Theo, no doubt about it. But John Fury wasn't exactly a top-level professional boxer, and he hasn't fought, and I don't think he's sparred regularly since the 90s. Whereas Micky Theo, although he's never had even a white-collar bout, he has sparred regularly for many, many years. Okay? So that kind of makes it a little interesting. If this was a fight between a guy who'd never sparred and never fought and John Fury, then I'd still be picking John Fury, 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. But the fact that John Fury's been out for so long, hasn't been, sparring, hasn't fought since the 90s. I know he's been sparring recently, very recently, but that's because of this Micky Theo situation. But prior to that, to my knowledge, John Fury really wasn't involved in that type of boxing, preparation. So the fact that Micky Theo keeps himself very physically in shape and what have you, and that he spars regularly and has been doing for years, and he's been in and around boxing gyms in London for a very, very long time. Again, that makes it a little more interesting, him versus John Fury. But the way it looks right now, we're probably not going to get to see that fight anyway, because John Fury has basically defeated Micky Theo in the battle of public perception without even having to step in the ring again. Micky Theo can call it a stunt or whatever he wants to call it, and he might be right. Maybe it was a stunt. John Fury, saying, come up to this gym at this time, and if you don't, you're a chicken, and you only giving him a couple of days notice. Maybe that is a stunt. But when it comes to public perception, just look at the likes to dislikes, the like-dislike ratio on Micky Theo's videos since John Fury pulled this, whatever you want to call it, right? Just look at the public perception based upon likes to dislike ratio, and it's a no contest right now. Micky Theo, I don't want to say he's down and out, but he's definitely down, and he's taken a long time to get back up to his feet in terms of dealing with the public perception. So let's see what happens from here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.